From cricket to football, how are you feeling if you're a Southend United fan? They're back in the court, in the High Court again next week, just a few weeks after the last winding up petition. We were hearing from a former employee, producer Ian, saying their words because they wanted to remain anonymous, understandably so, about staff still not being paid on time. So lots and lots of issues continuing at Southend United. Let's get some thoughts now from a Blues fan, Sarah Jane, who's from Leon-on-Sea. Morning to you, Sarah Jane.
Morning, Sonia. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. There's a slight delay on the line, so hopefully you can hear me as well. How are you feeling about everything that's going on?
It's just depressing, isn't it? We've had a fantastic season on the field. They've done a marvellous job. I can't praise Kevin and the team enough. They've been absolutely amazing. And in the background, you've got this ridiculous circus of very, very poor management going on, and it's tiring, I think, as much as anything else, and it's just depressing.
How worried are you about this hearing next week? Because it's come quite soon off the back of the previous one, and it's not new, is it? But it does seem like it's a bit quicker succession we're getting these sorts of hearings now.
I'm actually extremely worried about this one because, clearly whatever was said at the last one, it sounds to me as though something was said, some arrangements were made, and then instantly not followed through, which is worrying. That is extremely worrying, and it's just no way to run any sort of business, is it? And certainly not for such an iconic thing like a football club. It's just not the way to do it.
What's going to fix this, do you think? What is the answer?
Well, I mean, I think from my perspective, probably the sooner the club's sold, the better. And I think it just needs to be sold to somebody who cares about the people who work for the club, someone who cares about the fans, someone who understands that your local team is an integral part of you, and that's to me, that's important. And if anybody, it'd be lovely to have one of the big millionaires come along and rescue us, as it were. But, you've got to be careful what you wish for. And really what we want is stability, and we want some success, and that's really it.
We're going to be talking to two people who do a podcast all about Wrexham. And of course, they've not been without incidents and some of the similar challenges that we're seeing at Southend. Obviously, a better end to the story there. And I guess that's something that you'd very much be hoping for.
Well, absolutely. And I wish them every success. They've done a fantastic job. But they've, again, like us, have had their bad times. They spent, I think it's something like 14, 15 years in the National League. So, I remember watching them first of all when they were in the Championship League One with us. And, it's been a long time for them to get back to where they need to be. So, it's brilliant for them. And I'm hoping that a similar story will come out of Southend eventually.
How long have you been supporting the Blues then, Sarah Jane?
Oh, blimey, more years than I want to admit to, really. Probably, blimey. Yeah, probably, I think from a distance, probably most of my life, but actively as a season ticket holder, about 23 years.
So a long time, big part of your life. When do you think, it's probably a bit more philosophical one, but when do you think things started to go wrong? Is there a point? Is there a reason, do you think, when it started to go wrong? Can you pinpoint anything?
Blimey. I think it's been on a long, slow decline for a long, long time, in all honesty. There was problems before Ron took over. I think there was, there are a lot of fans who've alluded to lots of problems kind of going back a long way before that. And certainly when we were in the Championship and we started to slide down and bills stopped being paid.
Oh, have we lost you? Oh, I think we've lost you.
Hey?
Oh, you're there. You just dropped out a moment ago there. You just mentioned about sort of gradual decline and bills not being paid a little while back.
Yeah, no, that was back when Steve Tilson was in charge. We slid spectacularly out of the Championship into League One. And that was a pretty poor show. And I'd hoped that the powers that be had learnt their lesson from that little debacle. Clearly not. And this time, I think it's 10 times worse. So it's been going on for a long time, but I think there's a lot of kind of trust that fans will be forgiving. From certain members who live in Benfleet Road, and I think there's something about actually things have got to change. It needs a big turnaround. It needs a big change.
Yeah, what would you say to Ron Martin then? Because interestingly, we're continuing to bid for Ron to come onto BBC Essex, not necessarily on my show, but somewhere on BBC Essex. I know The Echo published the other day 10 questions that we would like to ask Ron. What's your biggest thing that you'd like to say to the chairman?
Well, I mean, I probably can't say it on air, actually, to be honest. Yeah, it's I think really just one question is, why have you done this? And that's probably the biggest question I've got for him. Why? But as I say, a lot of the questions that I've got really are probably not they're probably not airable, so best I probably don't go there.
Not for a family show. Sarah Jane, wishing you all the best. Thank you for coming on, telling us how you feel. If you're listening to that as a Southend United fan, you've got some thoughts or maybe something that you would like to ask the chairman, if you'd like to say to Ron Martin, 0800 111 40 41. How worried are you? We've got this court hearing next week. Last one, the latest petition dismissed only on March the 1st. So we're back in the High Court, Southend United, next week. How worried are you about it? 0800 111 40 41. Let's bring in now Ryan and Siân Watson, who are Wrexham fans. They host a podcast called Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Morning, both.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming on. So I suppose a sense of familiarity, what we were hearing there from Sarah Jane in terms of what you've been through as Wrexham fans over the years?
Yeah, definitely. And it's sad, really, that, we've had issues where fans have got to raise money. And I know that Southend sort of supporters have also had a GoFundMe page just to get staff paid. And it shows how amazing football fans are, that they can do this and they can raise money and they can, keep the club going. But the question really is, why should we have to? At the end of the day, you've got somebody in charge. We had Alex Hamilton, you've got Ron Martin. Ron's had 25 years to get this right. And learn some lessons along the way. And he clearly hasn't done that. And it continuously falls back on fans to have to step in to raise money just for staff to get paid. And it's an awful scenario to be in, really.
How do we change that then? Because you say you've been familiar territory for Wrexham, Southend going through it, have done for a while now. What breaks that cycle? Can anything change it? Because it's a world away from top flight football, isn't it? So what would change that so that fans wouldn't have to step in this way?
I think Sarah Jane probably touched on it. To be fair, it just takes an owner who actually just cares a little bit, and it didn't take a lot. I know, looking from the outside, we've got Hollywood A-list owners and people think it's some massive change. They've done really simple things, and they've drawn the community in, and they really care about the club. Yes, it takes money, but it's just the really small things that matter to fans, and drawing the sort of community back in. Southend are an amazing club. I mean, at the end of the day, Wrexham ended on 111 points this season. We played Southend twice, and we only managed to score one goal against you. And it shows the quality that the team have. And a little bit of investment, and I dare say, I know you just missed out on the playoffs this year, but I dare say you would be right up there. And it just needs somebody to come in and make a little bit of an investment and to sort of help move the club forward. And, I think you'd see a world of difference.
And what was it like when Ryan Reynolds and Rob came in, as you say, that sort of Hollywood stardust? What was it like initially when they came in terms of how fans felt about it? Obviously, there has been a fairy tale journey, hasn't there, with promotion, and it's been a much happier story for you guys at long last. But what was it like when they first came in?
Yeah, for me, because I'm a new fan, so I haven't been there throughout the whole, the heartache and stuff like that. But when Ryan and Rob came in, I think it kind of it was unbelievable to start off with. It's still surreal now, to be honest. We kind of sit at home and we think we've got Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney as our owners. It's just mental. But I think because of what they've done for the community and what they've done for the club, I think them coming in has been just one of the most amazing things that could have happened to the club.
Was there a sense of, well, what are they, they're Hollywood stars, what are they going to do? Was there a hint of scepticism when they first came in, or was there a lot of excitement and buzz right from the off that, this could be a game changer?
I think a lot of people were very sceptical about it, because obviously, they're American and Canadian, so obviously they're from overseas, and I think a lot of people thought, well, what are they going to do? Is it going to be another Alex Hamilton? Are they going to give us this dream but then take it from us? So I think a lot of fans were sceptical, but I think they've definitely proved themselves 10 times over now with what they've done for the community. And like I said, and what they've done for the club, it's just been absolutely amazing. And I think we can arguably say that I think Wrexham AFC have got the best owners in the English Football League.
Fantastic. And the podcast, it's given you plenty to talk about. You've got the Hollywood, you've got the fairy tale ending, like a scene from a Hollywood movie, I think. So you've got plenty of material for the podcast then, guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, week in, week out, and it's amazing. The whole story is fantastic. And I just, I take the opportunity. I wish Southend United the very best, because it's not nice to see a club struggling, and, we've been there. And, we just really hope that, you manage to pull yourself out of it. And I think the first step on that sort of journey is probably a new owner. As I say, we got rid of our sort of really bad owner, and I'm sure Ron Martin's done some good things over his 25 years, but it's definitely time for him to move on now and for somebody to come in and sort of help move the club forward.
Thank you both for coming on. That's Ryan and Siân Wass. Wrexham fans host the podcast Me, The Wife and Wrexham AFC. Good morning. This is Breakfast on BBC Essex 8:31.